Hello and welcome to Get Wise with Perrywise. I'm Matthew D. Perry, IT consultant and proprietor of Perrywise IT Consulting. Today we're getting wrapped up in network cabling, which, well, that's a fun subject if you've ever seen some spaghetti network closets like I have. When we're talking about cabling, we're also talking about the physical layer of the OSI model, as well as what's going on behind the scenes, which includes bit transmission, signaling, cable types and connectors, and data rates and distance limits. Copper cabling and connectors use electrical signals. The twisted pair design within them reduces interference. You'll be seeing a lot of these within networks. They are very common in LANs. The connectors include RJ45 for basic Ethernet and RJ11 for phones, 8P8C connectors, and Ethernet pinouts. Among copper Ethernet types, we have 10 base T, which is 10 megabytes per second. Cable is going to be Cat5+, and that's a max distance of 100 meters. 100 base TX is 100 megabytes per second with Cat5 cable, and a distance of 100 megabytes. 1000 base T has 1 gig speed and Cat5e cable, and 10G base T has a speed of 10 gigabytes per second with Cat6a cable. Among cabling types, we have UTP and STP. In straight English, unshielded twisted pair is the cheaper and more common type of Ethernet cable, and STP, or shielded twisted pair, has better electromagnetic interference protection but is also more expensive. Also among Ethernet cables, we have straight through and crossover. This is also determined by the pinout of the internal cables within an Ethernet cable, but a straight-through cable is for different devices, such as, for instance, a PC to a switch, and a crossover cable goes to same devices, such as a switch to another switch. Auto MDI/MDIX reduces the crossover need, however. An alternative to the usual copper and/or Ethernet terms of cabling include fiber optics. Fiber optics uses light instead of electricity. It's immune to electromagnetic interference, and is pretty good for long distances over high speeds. Fiber connectors have a couple different options to use to connect to the switch or other equipment it's using. A lucent connector is common with SPF modules used for both modes. A square connector is a square shape. It's larger than your lucent connectors, but it's common in older equipment. And even older than that is straight tip, just a round connector for legacy networks. As far as fiber standards go, 1000 base SX is good for 1 gigabyte speed. Its fiber type is multi-mode, and the max distance it has is 550 meters. 1000 base LX has 1 gigabytes per second of speed with single mode fiber, and it's good for 5 kilometers. 10G base SR is good for 10 gigabytes a second for speed. Its fiber type is multi-mode, and its maximum distance is 300 to 400 meters. And 10G base LR is good for 10 gigabytes per second of speed, with a fiber type of single mode, and it's good for 10 kilometers. You might have heard me mention single mode and multi-mode fiber in the last slide. Single mode has a small core that's used for long distances that is mostly used for wide area networks and/or ISPs, and multi-mode has a larger core for shorter distances that's better used for local area networks and/or data centers. Unfortunately, there are limitations for both cable types. Copper Ethernet only has a maximum length of 100 meters. If you exceed that, you get slower speeds and packet loss, and it's limited due to electromagnetic interference and crosstalk. As far as fiber goes, single-mode fiber is limited by signal attenuation over distance, and multi-mode fiber is limited by modal dispersions and/or light spreads. When cabling either copper, Ethernet, or fiber, you just want to keep using your best practices just to be safe. You want to avoid tight bends? You want to use proper labeling so you know what's what. You want to select the correct category for speed so the network, can fix itself. You want to separate your power and data cables so again you know what's what. And again, you want to keep your cables managed. Velcro and/or zip ties are your friend. Another factor to include is cable testing and the tools therein. For starters, a cable tester. This will give you pass-fail results on a cable, will detail which internal wire is bad, shorted out, etc. There's also a loopback plug, which is used to test network ports. You plug it in, it sends a signal, loops it back, and it'll tell you if it's getting a signal or not. A time domain reflector will send a signal down the cable and make sure it can send and receive as well. For fiber, you have an optical time domain reflectometer, which does the same thing. Sometimes cables have their own issues with networks. Sometimes your cable just have faults, such as open, short, split pair, reverse pair, etc. Others are a bit more common, such as an incorrect pinout, a bad termination, excessive length, or damaged internal cable. Others are more specific to your specific brand. If you have copper, continuity could be an issue, wire map, length, and electromagnetic interference could be an issue as well. For fiber, continuity, the cleanliness of the connectors, a bend issue, and light loss also have to be factored in. Alright, in today's Get Wise with Perrywise, we messed around with copper cabling and we found out about fiber. Until next time, I've been Matthew D. Perry of Perrywise IT Consulting. Ta-ta.